Hello, my name is Swiss Bianco. In this video I will talk about the Polymer 80 Glock completion kit. It's for the Glock 19 PF940C. So those are the information. We see the prices too. As of September 2021 I got that kit for test it out. And unfortunately the quality of the item is not good, and that's why I make the video. If you have such a kit, or if you consider such a kit, please leave the comments below the video. This is sample one of one. I did not have made two good experiences in the past from completion kits that were not made by Glock themselves. Unfortunately, Glock in the current corona crisis, how it sounds, the bird here on the countryside have it too now. Anyway, the gun situation in USA is pretty hectic for now. With the Chinese corona situation, and the prices go a bit up and all that, and the small parts from Glock are not available, so I did think I'm gonna test that out again to see if the quality got better, and unfortunately it's not. So this is about what I got. The items were on the paper. We got that from Rockey brass company. They have a really good customer service there. They help, as we see further in this video. So what we got is a slide now without the RMR cover plate and the American glow sights. So it just comes the slide with two longer screws, and of course the small parts were not in it. It's all stripped. So the slide makes a pretty good impression. That's just oil that is on it. That looks pretty good, but on the back side, if we look closer, I hope the camera gonna see that the rear side slot is not angled with the slide. So on the right side, it's the side sits higher up. So usually with the Glock you put in the rear side from the right side to the left. This cut was not good in the way that the sight did slide in from the left side further than from the right side. So there was already something negative. Then we have a bottle. I'm not sure who made that bottle there. Maybe somebody from you see that on the marking. Is that a Bear Creek bottle? Bear Creek Arsenal. So this is the second bottle, and we see there is already quite some wear on the parts, just from shooting around 5 rounds. Because of the ammo shortage I could not shoot more, and I tell you why in a minute. Now the inside of that bottle here is pretty nice. Maybe the camera gonna see it. That, as I said, this was the second bottle. The first bottle that came with the kit was absolutely disgusting. Between the chamber reaming and the rifling there is another cut that allows for a little bit free bore, or a better step as the bullet get fired to get into the rifling, so that the twist that the bullet gonna take then by the rifling is done a bit slower by pressing in the bullet in the rifling, and that part was absolute machined worst. I could not remember that in all the years and decades that I deal with firearms ever saw such a worst made bottle. It clearly did slip the quality control completely. And the customer service first said, yeah, that is how that is, but other people that don't have the experience, they would have shoot it like that. But it was clearly absolute worthless barrel in that regard and not safe to shoot. So that was that part. Then the part kit came with the wrong spring for the disassembly lever. Now here we have the correct one, it's a Glock 19 size. Here is the wrong one, a Glock 17 size. We see that leg here is longer, and that would not have fit the Glock 19 frame at all. So that part came. I told them, that was the first thing that I saw as I unboxed it, and they sent again another 17 one instead of a 19, but then I could return the bottle, and they did send that new bottle that is here on the table with the correct 19 spring, so that I could assemble it. Now we're gonna look a bit at the other parts. None of them is Glock made, so it's a good question how long they gonna last. All in all, I mean, optically it's pretty nice done. You don't see too much problems with the part. That looks all pretty standard, typical. Now the small parts I'm gonna leave in the thing here. But then we have had a problem again with the spring. That was, or is that part here. And we, hopefully the camera see that spring is for the magazine button, should be completely straight, and heat treated correct, that keeps the spring tension for the magazine release. And this one, after a couple uses, did bend by itself, and the tension of the magazine release was completely gone. So I had to contact the Rockey Brass customer service again, and they again did help and send a new one, and that actually did work. Then I could finally assemble the thing and shoot it. Then we had the next problem. After 5 rounds, and again the part looked pretty good and well, but the spring here has basically no tension in it. So the slide release and slide lock, whatever you want to call it in USA, did stand upwards in the frame. It should be pressed downwards without a magazine in the gun, and that was standing up and had nearly no spring tension left, and did wiggle around. That way you cannot shoot the Glock, because the slide lock may engage and keep the slide open as you still have rounds in the magazine. And that was the point that I say finish. We had enough of the testing. We're not gonna wait that maybe the recoil spring gonna have a problem, or the striker spring, or that maybe even the striker itself gonna have a problem. Looks pretty good. It's just a question for how long. So yeah, that was it for me, because we need to count on the item, and we cannot have such a quality that may or may not work. Now, by those 5 rounds that I fired, I noticed that the point of impact was really low. I had that before, like 2 years ago. As the situation was better, I did get some Bear Creek arsenals for the Glock 19 system, and 2 pieces, and they test those out, and they did also shoot really low. So basically you have the front sight, the middle of the front sight is the point of impact. Now back then, as I tested that out, I switched the barrel and used the original Glock barrel, and there the point of aim with the point of impact again the same, they shoot correct in a correct height. So back then that was the bottle, also those two bottles from Bear Creek Arsenal, they got returned, and I'm not sure, it is 50-50 if that is also a Bear Creek Arsenal bottle that shoots low, or is it the sights from Ameriglo that that were just adjusted for that, because at that point I did not want to spend more ammo on testing this item out by switching a bottle, original Glock bottle, into the system. I just want to return this item and get a full refund. The Rocky Brass did already send me the return shipping label, and so we just make this video, learned the lesson and return it for a full refund, and then I'm gonna go with parts that I know that work. We're gonna wait a bit and get Glock small parts kits. For me that doesn't hurry. One day they're gonna be back in stock, and for the slide I'm gonna use Brownell's brand slide. I have had tested those in the past, they did work. So they offer them with the RMR cut as well. So that quality is good. Gonna do that, and hopefully I'm gonna find a Glock bottle, a Glock 19 bottle for a acceptable price. If possible a Gen 5 Markman bottle, and then we are set really well, because if you have a polymer 80 frame, you should really use parts that actually work to recreate a quality that as close as possible Glock, original Glock, a factory Glock, doesn't matter is it made in Austria or USA, have. If you go with such parts and have the same problems, or possibly the same problems or similar like I had, it's just not worth it at all. You cannot count on the gun. The springs may go bad any minute as you really need it. The sights are crooked on it and may give you, together with the bottle, already a sight picture, point of impact that you don't like. So you have to spend time and money to get sights that actually are in a correct aiming point in relation to a correct hit on the target. So all in all, I'm sorry to say that is absolute not a good quality at all, and I would not recommend that. Again, that's sample 1 of 1, but for me that will never come close to a Glock quality that we depend on, that we can depend on, and that is actually something that is worth it. So that much about the polymer 80 and Rocky Brass kit.